Hello guys, this scholarship is one of the fully funded scholarships out there that you as an undergraduate student or a master's or PhD student can apply to, and the scholarship is obtainable at the Republic of Mauritius. This country is in Africa actually, and though I think it's one of it's a good place to study. And so I'll just take you guys through the application guidelines and explain some things to you about the scholarship and how to apply. So Mauritius Africa Scholarship Scheme 2022 guidelines for applicants, diploma and undergraduate degree. Though this scholarship is not for medical students, it's only a 4 years or 3 years course. So if you are a medical student, or I think all these specialist courses like pharmacy, I think you can't apply to it. So let me take you guys through it. Introduction. The government of the Republic of Mauritius is offering scholarships to deserving students who are resident citizens of member states of the African Union or of African Commonwealth countries for full-time on-campus undergraduate. So the scholarship is a full-time scholarship and it has to be on campus in the above mentioned country. So the scholarship is for diploma or degree programs tenable in public higher education institutions in Mauritius. So what is the eligibility criteria? First is the nationality. Candidates must be resident citizens of member states of the African Union or African Commonwealth countries. Mauritian nationals and foreign nationals residing in Mauritius are not eligible to apply under the scheme. Age limits. Applicants should be above 18 years of age and should not have reached 26 years by August 22, that is this year. So what are the required qualifications for this scholarship? Candidates must have either a minimum of 5 credits at school certificates. That is, as a Nigerian, you must have at least 5 credits in your WAEC certificate or General Certificate of Education, that is GCE, O-Level or International General Certificate of Secondary Education, inclusive of a credit in English language or acceptable evidence of proficiency in English, because the scholarship and your learning will be in English language. So you have to show a proof that you are well knowledgeable in English. So you must have at least a C in your English language or 5 O-level passes awarded by any other approved examining body deemed to be equivalent to like the above mentioned. For instance, you can also use your GCE results or your NECO results to apply for it also. That is something that don't have good WAEC results or qualification equivalent to the above mentioned. Note, a pass in English at A level will be accepted in lieu of English language at O level. B, a pass at subsidiary level and or A level or equivalent will be acceptable in lieu of a pass at O level as per 1 or 2 mentioned above. Also, some diploma programs may have higher qualification requirements than the ones mentioned, and applications will be considered only for candidates meeting the minimum requirements of this. So some programs may have like higher requirements other than the ones mentioned up there are just like samples, like the least you can get. So some courses may require you to have more than that, as the case may be. Candidates already holding a diploma will not be considered. So if you have like graduated before, or if you have or if you're in the university, you can't apply, but then you can still apply, so they won't know. Then qualification requirement to be eligible for undergraduate study. Candidates should have successfully completed end of secondary schooling and should satisfy the minimum grade requirements as indicated below. At least 21 points at GCE or HSC A level, which will be computed on the basis of the following grades obtained in 3 principal subjects. So if you have an A is 10 points, and if you have if you have A plus, like Nigeria, we don't do A plus, we just do A. If you have A plus, that is 10 points. If you have A, that is 9 points. If you have B, that is 8 points. If you have C, 7 points, and D is 6 points. So you can calculate your points by yourself based on the grades you have. Then at least an overall average of 60% or an overall average of 12 over 20, as the case may be, or qualification equivalent to 1 or 2 mentioned above. Note, candidates already holding an undergraduate degree will not be considered. So if you have like finished from any Nigerian university before, you can't apply. So the scholarships for those who are either in their first year, but if you are still in a Nigerian university, you can apply. Or if you have not entered university, but if you have graduated, you can't apply. In the case the language of instruction in the qualifying exam is not English, like for those whose lingua franca is not English, they will have to like show proof of English language proficiency. Either you show them a TOEFL or a SAT or IELTS result, and the scores are as shown above. Self-financing African students already studying in Mauritius will not be eligible to apply for the same program under the scholarship. So for people who are already in that country studying, they can't apply for this scholarship. Scholarships will not be awarded for, this is very important, you will not get a scholarship if and only if, or this scholarship is not for top up degree programs. Like let's say that you finish a particular degree, I want to like go further, this scholarship will not cover it. Foundation programs, let's say you want to like, for example, those who are going for medicine, they have to like do some foundation programs, this scholarship is not for them. Part-time courses, this scholarship is a full-time scholarship, so if you are going for part-time, you can't apply. And this scholarship is not for distance education, so it's not an online or distance education program. So you have to, it's a full funded online or on campus program. Okay, so now let's go for the application procedures. The application form obtained from the website below must be filled in electronically printed, and that means you have to like print the form out and sign it. So you can get the form from these links shown above. We'll come back to this. Application to higher education institutions, HEI. All applicants must have already applied for at least one full-time on-campus program at a public higher education institution of their choice. This we'll get to it. It is listed on, like, the list of schools is there on this form also. This application must be made as soon as the higher education institution have opened their application windows on their respective website. So you have to apply to a particular school in that country. The list of schools will be shown. I will show you guys the list of schools. So you have to go to that school's website and apply to like at least one school. So, and when you've applied to the school and you've gotten admissions, you have to submit the admission letter and this application form to the nominating organization. We'll get to that. So let's continue. This application must be, okay, I've said that. An applicant may either obtain a conditional offer, that is letter of admission, from their choosing Mauritian public higher education institution and submit this along with the scholarship application, like I said before, or submit an acknowledgement notice from a Mauritian public higher education institution that the application for a seat has been made and the appropriate application fee has been paid. So while applying for the schools, you have to pay an application fee, but meanwhile this fee will be refunded back to you. This is just for you to get an admission first before you are considered for the scholarship. Okay, note, the application fee shall be refunded, like I said, to successful candidates. Applicants must submit the completed Mauritius Africa scholarship application form along with documents as per section 7 to their respective nominating agency. So for Nigeria, the nominating agency is Federal Scholarship Board. So you have to submit the application form, and there is that letter of award, you get that letter of admission you get from the school to FSB. Okay, candidates must also submit the fully completed application form and certified copies of the following documents as part of their application. So you have to submit these following documents also: your birth certificate, relevant educational certificate, and transcript. Like transcript is your result from SS1 to SS3, and medical certificates. That is very important, because when you're applying to most scholarship abroad, you will need to submit a medical certificate, and this certificate must be filled and stamped by a registered medical practitioner in section 6, we'll get to that, of the application form, and a copy of your passport biodata page. Passport is also very important while applying for scholarship abroad. Note: non-submission of the documents mentioned above, or incorrect or incomplete filling of the application form, will result in disqualification. So if you don't fill the form very well, and if you don't submit all the above mentioned documents, you have automatically disqualified yourself from this scholarship. 2. Declaration in section 4 of the application form must be signed. So there's going to be like a declaration like form for you to sign also. We'll get to that. 3. Certified copies of academic certificate and transcript, if not in French or English, must be submitted along with a certified translation. So if you're not a Nigerian, or if English is not your lingua franca and French is also not your lingua franca, you have to translate your document to any of the above mentioned languages. 4. In section 3 of the application form, applicants should indicate the titles of up to 3 courses in the schools that they apply for, along with their course codes for which they have secured. So like if you apply for like 2 universities, you have to indicate like the course or you applied for and the course code from that university. All applications must be made exclusively through the nominating agency. So like I said before, this application is not submitted online. It's not an online application. It has to be submitted to the nominating agency, and for Nigeria, the nominating agency is Federal Scholarship Board. So you have to go to Federal Scholarship Board in Abuja to submit your documents in person. And if you're from other countries, like I will show you guys the list of nominating agencies, so you can check for your countries there and go and submit your application there also. Now, application inquiries. Applicants are advised to contact the nominating agency in their country of citizenship, or in the absence of thereof, the respective Ministry of Education, to obtain details on the application procedure. So please, you guys should message FSB, like Federal Scholarship Board, to find out the deadline for this scholarship, because the deadline varies from country to country. So contact FSB to find out when the scholarship will end and what you need to know. Shortlisting by the nominating agency and evaluation process. Applications for this scholarship are to be made to the nominating agency, I've said that over and over again, and are not to be sent directly to Mauritius by the applicant. The nominating agency, which is typically part of the Ministry of Education, will select and nominate up to 5 candidates. Wow. So from each country, just 5 candidates are eligible for this scholarship, like will be successful for this scholarship. For undergraduate programs, indicating clearly the level of studies for each nominated candidate, the nominating agency of the country of citizenship of the candidate or the Ministry of Education will subsequently transmit the application forms to Mauritius. Okay, applications from candidates who do not have the endorsement of their nominating agencies will not be considered. Candidates who have not been informed of their selection for the award for a scholarship by the end of October 2022 should consider that they have not been selected. So if you not get any information or any news from FSB, just forget about the scholarship and move on with your life and check out other scholarships here. Selection of candidates for the scholarship will be based on merit, but then connections can work too. The list of successful applicants for each member state will be communicated to their respective nominating agencies, and a communique will be placed on the Mauritian Ministry of Education's website once the selection has been made. The Mauritian Ministry of Education will in parallel issue the successful applicant with a scholarship agreement form, which is to be signed and submitted to the Mauritian Ministry of Education upon appointment within 2 weeks of their arrival in Mauritius. The final decision to award a scholarship rests with the Ministry of Education, Tertiary Education, Science and Technology. This decision will be final and binding. The Ministry of Education will not respond to queries regarding the non-selection of candidates. So if they don't select you, just forget about it. Financial conditions of the scholarship. Now let's go to tuition first. Tuition and cost-related costs. This scholarship provides for annual payment of tuition fees and other studies related costs. Example, general annual fees and miscellaneous fees as listed below. So we have one SADC countries. We have local fees of 100,000 Mauritian currency, and non-SADC countries we have international fees of 160,000 Mauritian currency. And as at 30th of November, 1 USD is equal to 43.61 Mauritian currency. Awardees will not be allowed to transfer to another school. So if you've been awarded the scholarship, you can't change your school. Tuition fees and other related costs in excess of the amount mentioned above shall be borne by you. So if there are other costs you incur apart from the ones listed above, you have to pay them yourself. All costs associated with any examination receipt or repeat of any academic year will be borne by you, the student. The scholarship will be for a maximum duration as indicated below. Undergraduate diploma, that is 3 years. Undergraduate degree, 4 years. No request for additional grants will be entertained. So what they give to you is what you get. Any costs pertaining to field work overseas or the purchase of books will have to be borne by you. Now, living allowance. Awardees are expected to come to Mauritius with sufficient funds to meet expenses during the initial phase of their stay while formalities are being completed. So as you're going, though it's a fully funded scholarship, you still have to have like money with you to meet some needs. And so a monthly living allowance of 12,500 Mauritian currency will be paid to awardees as part of support to meet their living expenses. Students are expected to supplement this amount to cover the cost of living in Mauritius. This allowance will be credited to the awardee's bank account in Mauritius on a monthly basis, subject to the submission of evidence of enrollment and satisfactory attendance in the study program in the school. The payment of allowances during the final year of enrollment in the study program will cover on a pro rata basis a period of 2 weeks following the final day of examinations. An awardee should inform the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology in writing, preferably 2 weeks in advance in case he or she has to leave Mauritius for any reason. So if you want to travel out of the country, you have to inform them that you're traveling out. Other conditions: the awardee should be vaccinated, abide by the rules and protocol, blah blah blah, be available to commence their academic studies in Mauritius by the start of the academic year, not be in receipt of a scholarship from any other public source in Mauritius, undergo a medical checkup as per the passport and immigration office requirements. And so the ministry reserves the right to request an applicant to undergo any such other medical test. So let's go over travel to and from Mauritius, student visa and travel documents. Prior to an awardee's arrival in Mauritius, the school where the student has secured a seat will apply for a student visa with the passport and immigration office in Mauritius. For visa application procedures, the awardee must liaise with the school where he or she has secured a place and ensure that he or she is holder of a provisional entry permit issued by the passport or immigration officer before arrival in Mauritius. The passport or immigration officer will process the student visa application and issue a provisional entry permit valid for 3 months to enable the student to travel to Mauritius. Issuance of provisional entry permit and student visa is subject to the immigration laws of the country. Students must have a passport. The scholarship also covers a return airfare ticket by the most economic route. This will be valid for travel from the country of origin at the beginning of the studies and back. Awardees will have to make their own arrangement to pay for their one-way air ticket and then apply for a refund upon arrival. So listen, you have to be the one to pay for your flights to the country. Then your money will be refunded back to you when you get there. You understand? So this scholarship is kind of complicated, but it's for the good. The cost of the cancellation penalty fees of this return ticket will be refunded in the awardee by the authorities in Mauritius. Note: reimbursement of air ticket cost. The authorities in Mauritius will refund airfare from awardee's country to Mauritius by the most economic route. Students should inform in writing to the school to which they have been admitted of their travel schedule in advance. Students who choose to have their family members or relatives or friends join them for visits will be fully responsible for their airfare, living expenses, and every other expenses. So let's go to health and travel insurance. You have to get that also. Accommodation. About this, you have to make prior arrangements with their school with regard to accommodation. So you have to contact your school to know what accommodations are available unto you. And so submission of progressive report. So you have to submit a report of your academic performance every semester. You have to submit your results to them. Then renewal of the scholarship. The scholarship has to be renewed every year, subject to successful completion of the previous year of study and subsequent enrollment into the following year. The government of Mauritius will discontinue scholarship disbursement in case the student is not promoted to the next academic year. So if you are not promoted, your scholarship is terminated. So you have to continue your studies yourself. Termination of scholarship. The scholarship may be terminated at any time for reasons of unsatisfactory conduct, progress or attendance, breach of the school's rules and regulations, or for any other breach of the Mauritian laws. Checklist of documents to be submitted to national agency, nominating agency. So these are the documents you must submit: application form, birth certificate, passport, your WAEC certificate or your transcript, copy of letter of unconditional offer by the school, and medical certificates. So these are the list of higher education. So these are the schools you have to apply for and their dates. For undergraduate, we have University of Technology Mauritius. The application opened in December and will close in March. It has closed. Then for this particular school, Polytechnics opened in December and closed in January. So these are the schools that their application is still opened. So this one will open in June and close in August. So you have to check their websites and apply to them. So these are the list of nominating agencies according to countries. So you check up your country and check up the nominating agency for your country. So for Nigeria, Federal Scholarship Board, this is the address and the email. So check out for your country's nominating agency and know how to reach them. Oh, this is the application form. Let's go through it together. So this is just about the scholarship. The government of Mauritius is awarding scholarships to deserving students who are residents of citizens who've passed this place. Application checklist. So this is the application form. You have to fill it. So you have to check all these documents and make sure that you have each and every one of them before you submit this application to the nominating agency. Original certificate should not be sent with the application form. So don't send your original WAEC certificate. In fact, don't send any original document, just a photocopy of each of them. So personal information, that is your name, your family name, gender. Attach a passport to this place, your gender, male or female, date of birth, place of birth, where they give birth to you, country of citizenship, Nigeria or whichever country. So if you have a dual citizenship, you can write that too. Your passport number and expiry dates. Indicate whether you suffer from any illness or disability, yes or no. Your contact details, your full address in block letter, that is in capital letters. Your home phone number, that is phone number of any of your family members, can be there. Your mobile phone number, your email address, details of guardian or your parents' details, your parents' name, either your mom or your dad, relationship to you, mom or dad, occupation, the work that they do, nationality, Nigeria, full address, where they live, home address and mobile address and email address too. Emergency contact, you can also write the same information you wrote up and write it here also. Language proficiency, English, written, can you write your English good, fair, poor, spoken English good or fair or poor, so you indicate. 2 details of academic qualification. Certified copies of academic qualifications together with the mark sheet must be provided. The most recent completed qualification is to be listed first. State, okay, now here you're going to state like the subjects you wrote in your WAEC and the grades you got in them. You write the name of your school, address of your school, and dates where you started studying there, and dates when you graduated. So this is another one also. It is if you have others to add, like if, for example, now small few, like went to 2 different secondary schools, you can add those ones too. List details of relevant academic distinctions or prizes, like if you have won any award or so, you can list that also, or any scholarship while you were in secondary school, you can list that too. Proposed course of study. Provide details of the public higher education institution and programs of study, like the school you applied for and the course you applied for. You have to put them here. Like you can apply to at least 4 universities, so you have to write the name of the school, the course, and the course code. Section 4, declaration. So this declaration, you have to read it up. It just contains the rules and regulation of the scholarship. Then you have to add your full name, then you sign with date. Nominating agency. This section is to be completed by the authorized officer of the nominating agency. So this part is for the Federal Scholarship Board and not for you. Then medical certificate, personal details of candidates. You have to write your name and every other information. So these are the list of medical examination you have to do: cardiovascular system, respiratory system, and so you have to do them and write the results here. Additional remarks. Declaration. I hereby declare that this application is not suffering. Okay, this is to be filled by a doctor, so you have to take this to the hospital, and the doctor will have to write this result for you and also sign it. So this is the application form. Seal of doctor. So the doctor will have to sign here also. So this is just how the application form looks like. So remember, you have to print out this application form, fill it by hand. You have to fill it, and before you fill this application form, you need to apply to a school in Mauritius. Apply to a school before you fill this application form. Then when you've gotten a conditional offer of admission from the school, print out that offer alongside with this form and the above mentioned documents and submit them to the Federal Scholarship Board in Abuja. And please, after watching this video, go and call Federal Scholarship Board, get their number from their website, call them to find out about the scholarship, the application deadline, and what you need to know about the scholarship as soon as you finish watching this video. So this is the end for this application process and guideline. Please like this video, subscribe, and share to your friends. Bye for now.